I'm Catherine Ross, and I'm here live from the NYSE with Jim Cramer.
Look
Jim,
at this. It's UPS.
it's up nearly 8%.
It's a great quarter. It's a great quarter. But it's not necessarily
What made it
sign,
such a great
not
quarter?
a sign necessarily of the consumer. It's a sign of how good UPS is doing.
And what made it such a great quarter, though?
I think that they figured out how to do next day better than anybody. I think that they've solved a lot of logistics problems. It's a good story.
All right, so another good story was your Real Money column this morning, because you hit on something that you and I have talked about so much, which is homework. Why you have to listen to that earnings
Texas
call.
Instruments, it was not a good quarter. It was just a better quarter than what people thought. And look, there's no reason for the Fed, I know this is double negative, not to ease. Don't read in from UPS, which is how UPS is doing better. Don't read in from Texas Instruments, which is basically how Texas Instruments is doing better than lowered expectations. It's about lowered expectations. And I'm aghast about some of the things that are happening here. I'm just kind of upset.
So based off of Texas Instruments, how do investors avoid making bad stock decisions?
Well, I think you have to know what people are looking for and just understand that when you have companies that are cyclical and they make this much money, it's a sign that they've changed their business model. They've addressed where they were going wrong. They've pivoted. And that one of the reasons why I'm upset about Caterpillar is they didn't. It was very much the same old cat, as far as I'm concerned. They've got to change their ways. That was not a good quarter.
We'll talk about that quarter in just a second.
Goldman Sachs, it was episodic earnings. David Solomon comes in, smooths the earnings. You should do this as a story tonight. It's a good story. If you can smooth your earnings out, whether it be Coca-Cola, whether it be United Parcel, whether it be Texas Instruments, your stock's going to go up. Now, we own Caterpillar for action alerts, and I think that they've learned a lesson. I think it's not going to be as bad, but the costs are higher, and their revenues were okay. But because the costs were higher, and because the mix wasn't good, and because they have inventory issues, they did restructuring, you got a suboptimal quarter. But holy cow, if you can make your cyclical into a secular grower, you're amazing. And if you can take your business from secular to cyclical, which is what some people think is happening in United Health, but I disagree, then you got a down stock. So, I mean, it's very hard this is a very hard moment for everybody. It's, is AT&T more cyclical than we thought, or did they buy HBO and Time Warner and become less cyclical? Who is more cyclical? Who is less cyclical? That is the question.
And is that what investors need to be paying attention to when they're looking?
Yes, that
1,000%?
and the intrusive government, which we'll talk about.
We're going to talk about later.
Action alerts call.
And yes, exactly.
But yeah, if you can make it so that your company, rather than just be like this and this and this, like I did in Real Money, if you can make your company like this, wow, your stock's going to get a higher multiple. If you promise that your company's going to be like this, instead it's like this, your stock's going to get crushed till you get it right. And those are the oscillator versus the smooth. People want the smooth. That's why Goldman's been able to move so much. Proud Action Alert name, very big name for us. That's the kind of thing we're looking for. Now, we don't want it to be so perfect, because then suddenly you have a Facebook, where our fabulous government has decided that instead of just saying, okay, look, you've done some things wrong and we're going to sanction you, now they're saying you've done some things wrong and we're going to move into the board. And if I want that kind of intrusion, I'll vote for Hillary Clinton. Not that whatever. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Stop it. Isn't this on Facebook?
This is on Facebook.
Well, what is he coming in and stopping us from saying anything? I mean, what is this? I mean, people have created whole businesses on Facebook, thousands of them. But where's the small and medium-sized vote? I'm upset.
And we're going to get to that in just a second, but we need to rewind for 2 seconds.
It's a big position for Action Alerts. I'm upset. And then right on the eve of their quarter, now that is just...
Oh, it's true.
I mean, that kind of is not really the issue, but the idea that the Democrats and Republicans have found something that they agree on. They hate Facebook. They hate Amazon. They hate FANG. As the person who created FANG, I don't want to see this. I guess they could say, listen, we don't hate FANG because we watch Netflix.
All right, so guys, Facebook reports earnings after the bell today. Jim, quickly rewind. You're telling investors they need to look for the smooth and not the oscillating stocks. There you go. All right, let's move on to Boeing. They reported earnings. It's not smooth.
Now look, but did they do well ex the MAX? I think they did fine. Unimportant quarter. We need, the MAX situation was not perfectly handled. We have found that when you're in a crisis, you better handle it better than they did. and I think that they're still paying the price. And I didn't like, the quarter was fine. I'm glad our trust doesn't own it. Maybe one day we own it.
Last time we spoke about Boeing, you still felt pretty confident about it.
I do, but I feel confident, but and the defense aerospace was good and cash flow was good. I feel confident about it, but it's stuck in a range. I'd rather own, if you're going to say China trade, I'd rather own UPS or FedEx, which FedEx is really going up here, I think, off of UPS. But I was not thrilled with Boeing, but I wasn't hateful of it. It's okay.
So how should investors approach it?
Boeing has become almost like Tesla. It's a love-hate affair about whether you fly the MAX. If you fly the MAX, you'll buy the stock. How about that? That's what's happening. My daughter was in a Tesla this weekend. She said, "Dad, this Tesla, you better talk about it positive." I said, "There's actually more to it." I think that there's more to buying Boeing than whether you fly the MAX. But I think flying the MAX is going to be the issue.
All right, investors, you got your Boeing. There we go.
Government. We must have elected a hard-driving, anti-business Democrat. It's so focused on the Mueller report. Jeez, this isn't good for business. I don't like it.
I want to get to the government and I want to get to the FTC in just a second, but I do want to talk to you.
Puzzling.
It's very puzzling. I do want to talk to you about Caterpillar, which is our real money stock of the day. They also reported earnings that missed expectations.
They did keep the guidance the same. They did have put more of the restructuring in this quarter. But they're talking about oil and gas has to be higher, oil prices has to be higher, natural gas, and that may not happen. China's only 5 to 10%. They do have too much inventory. You have to work that off. I think that they overpromised and they underdelivered, frankly. I think Umpleby will get it right. That's why we want to stick by it and buy it at 130. We want to buy it because then you've got Umpleby de-risked. But they should have done better. And I think they will. We have a small position. We want to make it into a big position. That's right. I think that this is going to be their last not so great quarter. That's why it has to be bought.
You're foretelling? Did you look into your crystal ball?
Yeah, I looked into it. I also looked into my homework.
Yeah, there we go. He did his homework, guys. Okay, Jim.
Homework is everything. It's so bad. I mean, I went out last night with a really nice young kid who's a son of a CEO, really knows the web. He's really fantastic. And I come home. My wife didn't finish working at the restaurant at Longshoreman until 12 o'clock. I tried to stay up. I did about 2 hours worth of reading. I did Chipotle. I did Visa. I did Texas Instruments. Got prepped on for everything that was going to happen today. I did Snap, and then I couldn't stay up any longer. I went to bed at 11. She, came in at 12. She was closing. We had a good night at the restaurant. We had a lot of nice people. We had the coach of the Brooklyn Nets was there. He came up to me. I said, "What are you doing in my restaurant?" He said, "What are you doing in Brooklyn?" Whatever. But and he knows that Kate, when Kevin Durant comes and Curry comes, it's going to really be good for our business because we do a lot of business of people coming out of the Barclays. But it is the amount of homework you have to do to be good right now is frightening. You have to know that Goldman went up 20 points for real. You have to know that Caterpillar can come back. You have to know that the Texas Instruments is only up because it was better than a really bad quarter. You must know all of these, or if not, you're going to have to go be in an index fund. Okay, it's sad because I know a lot of people watch, particularly millennials. By the way, Snap, all about Gen Z.
I know they really
all about
changed
Gen
their
Z.
game.
That was a great.
Well,
quarter.
I got to say, as a
I
millennial,
have to go see Evan Spiegel. Yeah, you're a millennial. You're too old.
I'm too old for Snap. I really am. I use Instagram.
Old.
All my friends use Instagram.
Everybody uses Instagram except for the U.S. government, obviously.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up. So, Jim,
we should save
what's
that
going on? You want to save that for?
Yeah, people pay to get the goods. This is free. I mean, you can only do so much free. Sorry.
And when he says paid, he means ActionAlertsPlus.com.
Remember, I started TheStreet in 1995, and I said in 96 it's going to be paid. And everybody laughed. But we're still here. Okay?
All right, but I do have a question about the DOJ's probe or review of big tech.
Yeah,
Are you ready for this?
That's just great.
So,
Megan Del Rahim, when he was at our conference last year, he was talking about the greatness of these companies. But now everybody's just saying, hey, you know what? They're too powerful. Now, they do things. Do they abuse If you're Yelp, you think so. If they're Spotify, you think so. If you're a small and medium-sized merchant, you're in heaven because of these guys. They empower people. United Parcel just said that. David Abney just said that. So the government's on the wrong side of the trade here, but the government's the government. You can't fight them.
Well, is this probe going to be any different than the other reviews, than the other probes that we've seen?
Because take a look at what happened to Zuckerberg. They basically said, listen, we're not going to let you be the privacy guy. You're going to be abstain on that. We're going to basically, how many times did I say they better appoint a grown-up before the government appoints a grown-up? Guess what? The government's appointing grown-ups. They're going to bring people in there. They want the board to change. They're going to have to go bring a Eric Holder. They have to bring a Tony West. They have to bring a Preparara. That's very good. He's good following. He's good podcast.
All right, Jim. Now, that's all the time that we have for...
Visa's coming back now. That's right. Visa's coming back. That should come back.
All right, Jim, that's all the time that we have for today?
We're gonna do our paid video.
Oh, yeah, we're switching over.
Yeah.
Guys,
we do a lot of free stuff and talks about stocks. We do a lot of paid stuff. We tell you what to buy and sell. Hey, listen, sorry, it's paid. Remember what I told you? 20 years ago, I started a paid site. What, am I going to now give it away for free? No.
All right, guys.
You ever feel bad for Zuckerberg? Can you imagine?
Well, we got to save that for the paid. You just said that.
I'm sorry. I'm just stunned. Goldman Sachs now unchanged. I knew that.
All right, so we are now switching over to our ActionAlertsPlus.com video, our daily rundown. And guys, you don't want to miss this. I mean, he has so many thoughts about this. He can't even keep them off of the free video. All right, so thank you for watching. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you tomorrow.